40th edition of Invest Data Trading Academy live with Ambrose. Yes, I'll tell you that the global market has this last trading day of the week and also for the month of August is also missed while we're seeing some buying interest in some sectors or industry, let me put it that way. But the general market, the mature market, are seriously in a misdirection, reacting to one positive information and also one negative information also in that market. Like I always say that you trade the news by looking at your chart. This is happening in the matured economy as we speak right away. And that is the state of the market right now as we speak. But good news again, like I always say that you need to understand and also get insight of what is happening in your domain, especially the market where you are trading, to know the government policy, government policy, both the physical and also monetary policy, and also sector regulator or market regulator. All this will help you to what to make important. Also, in the process, don't forget seasonality and also the use of your chart, because market react to all this seasonality and also the sentiment and the momentum in the market also going to reflect what the psychology of investors or trader in the market at any given time. That is why you must pay attention to all this whenever we're discussing, because they are a way of kind of giving you the right direction, what you should do as a trader or investor, especially if you are trading global market from here. For those in that, but because you need to understand the environment you are trading, especially those that trade international stocks, giving you an insight what is happening and also how these activities in the mature market also are influenced in the local market where you are trading, especially African market, that will see that fund movement or flow of fund in this mature market as the way of impacting the market negatively or also positively at any given time, in our home market. Yes, at this hour, we're starting from what is happening in Asia market. I'll tell you that Asia stocks are missed at this point because of what we're seeing that there's a positive move on on China high cap stocks, and that also have made August like for me is a positive one, and August is also looking up for that environment. Good thing also for for in Japan. I think that Japan is also stocks are looking a bit down. A lot of negative economic readings that are also coming or data that are also coming in that direction. But as to speak, I'll tell you that it's a bag of a mixed bag on this hour in this market with China shares extending their stellar performance through August and also remaining at recent multiple year peak. Like I said earlier, that's been for them why Japan, knowing that is the end of the trading for the month, why Japan Nikkei 225 retreated on what on a negative sentiment of macroeconomic data that were released just recently. But good news that yes, I think that the region markets there look a bit mixed and also encouraging. But I'll tell you that the mind positive overnight that was seen in the Wall Street market or in the US market also impacted that market at this hour. But good news that that they China or Chinese, what we call it, market is closing on a positive note. But that's a good news for that. Like I said, that most of this gain was as a result of all through the improved second quarter earnings, but that also they were delivered in this market. As market also welcome this positive number and also the perspective of low interest rates, in US. These are the things that also a good news for the market. Like I mentioned earlier, good performance for Chinese market in this month of August, and also most of this also stock in the market in that region also have done well. Like I would say, because of the orbit, we are seeing in Chinese stocks or market, for me, it's a good one. As we speak now, I'll tell you that most of the indices are really in green right away. You can see that Shanghai, S CSI 200 index, is up by 0.7% to a what to 3 years high, while the Shanghai Composite also rose by 0.4, also picking a hitting just was just below the 10 years peak. Also, Hong Kong index also up by 0.7. That was also the recent recent 4 years high for this index. Like I said, that the month of August has been like a good market, and also not only that, that put stocks in that region with high cap stocks and also those tech companies also performing well. While mainland Chinese stocks also vastly outperform their regional peers in August. with the CSI 300 up by 10.3% this month of August. That's the good news. You can see that, as I was saying, that the composite, why the Shanghai composite also search for 8.1 gain for August. Good news for the market as we speak, and that's why I said you and I, as a trader investor, we need to pay attention to all this, because as they will also giving us an insight of what we are likely to see, and this is also a good news being the last trading day of the month of August. I would say that also other markets in that region, like what trade why we're seeing that stocks from Japan also lagging on negative data, and that is the position now. I see that SIM Nickel, that is Japan nickel 225 is down by 0.4, or why the South Korea also index is also shared at 0.5 this hour, and both index we are also trading up around the 7% toward in this August. Fine, having hit the series by what the correct high earlier in the world in the month. Profit taking, are not surprised when you see negative news. I know that these stocks have almost recorded 4.4 points and to 5%, especially for August, before profit taking pull them back. Also, you don't forget that markets react to any negative economic data in any way. That is why we're saying this at this moment. And that also don't forget that adding to the uncertainties over what is happening in Japan, and also as a Tokyo Consumer Index also for the month of August show that inflation in Japan capital is small, which is also a good one for that. And I believe that Australian stocks also is down as we speak now, and that is one part of it. While Singapore shares and Singapore index is up by 0.2, and that of India also is also flat. Heading that August, don't forget that this India has been struggling, and that has put that August for it likely to be a strong loss for what for Indian index. As we speak now, the index is down by 0.1% in this trading hour. That's also not almost 1.6 loss for the month of August. For me, 1.6 loss is not much, because don't forget what is passing now. They are passing through now with battling with the US proceeding on tariff of 50% on India. But their market is just 1 point for the month of August. For me, it's not even a bad one. It shows that also there is strength in that market if they will put their home in order, and also be able to challenge and face US, and also export more, and also diversify their business. For me, not a bad one actually, but let's see how they will survive in the new month we are entering, the last month for the third quarter of 2025. Yes, also second quarter gross GDP for India. For me, it's not totally a bad one, but it will be due this Friday. Let's go to and see by the end of the day if the figure will be coming to see how the economy has expanded. Quickly, let's go to what is happening also in Europe. I will tell you that Europe, shares as we speak right now, have edged, in the south direction. I've said earlier, as the British bank stocks, so slide why investors, get up forward for a slow of eurozone data, and also key US inflation report for a clue on potential timing of interest rate cut in both sides of the Atlantic. These are the things that we're expecting to happen now. That's why the market is. So the guys are saying what will be what. I believe that the outcome of the decisions of of the two regulators or two central banks, ECB and the US, was to determine how far we'll go. But don't forget that before now, ECB have cut rates for more than three times. Let's see how far they will go in that regard. But I can tell you that Bank of England was seeing also the result of whether they're going to hold their rate. Also, we will look at what will happen at the end of the day. Don't forget that the Barclays Bank also shared about 3.5 their shares respectively, as I said earlier, as a think tank, recommended the British government should tax banks on the billions of pounds they receive in interest from Bank of England on the reserve they hold at it. Let's see how it goes, what to play up there. That's also put the pressure on what on banking index in that market. Among other European sectors, we are seeing that most of the stocks there are in red. For me, it's part of the market. I think that any pullback and opportunity. That's why today's topic is what looking at the game change in what in strategy for investing or trading
the correcting NGX. We need to look at all those to see how we can navigate the market and be in profit. It's very, very important as trader investor. We don't stay one position and be watching. We see all these activities, what will make, because I believe that rate cuts that I was expecting in the month of September were crossing to will also play a major role in shaping most of this market. That's why you must pay attention to what is happening in the environment and take advantage of it, so that you can also benefit from that market at any given time. It's very, very important. But as we speak now, I'll tell you that Friday today, I think that US market is also looking southward also. Like I tell you that it's a mixed market at the beginning of the class, but I think that one street is also looking, on the south side, lower this Friday ahead of the release of Federal Reserve most watch inflation, inflation data that will guide their decision. These are what eyes they are looking at to see how they will be going to the next month with rate cut. There are also the inflation numbers that also Europe to have to digest, why the Trump administration also has ended this the minus exemptions. Let's see how it's going to be and how it's going to also play out in the market. But good news, I said earlier, any pullback in any market is an opportunity. And I think that we saw inflation slowing down marginally, a mild one in the US, and also the data that coming out from the economy is not pointing at the economy, is also weakening. But yes, we expect that the outcome of the FPC meeting, Central Fed meeting, might also provide the inflation push. But when we are seeing, cheaper phone and your brain, that also might push prices up. But let's see how it goes. Also, cost increasing it, cost also push prices. Let's see how they go to balance on this at the end of the day. Clarity is very, very important, and that's why investors must pay attention to see how the interest rate for the rest of the year also support the market going to the last quarter of the year. That's why we must pay attention to what is happening in the market, because it has also influencing what is happening in this region, this part of the world. With all eyes that it's expected that Fed will do like at the end of September with a 25 basic cut, though what happened after the remaining uncertainties. Now let's see how it go. Different policy member or policy makers in that they're all looking at it. What will be the next? But let's close our eyes and wait and see what will happen. US investors have mentioned now they are all in red, down, and then we expect to see how far we go. Like there is also ECB is also look forward inflation clue. All of them are looking at what will guide them in making their decision in the next their policy meetings, and I expect that this will have a role of guiding activities, and also not only that here in market in Africa market, especially in Nigeria, we all eyes are still about what CBN monetary policy will also be doing in September. Is it time for cut? Is it time for to maintain the change we have experienced on the left to change we have experienced so far? From the first meeting in this year to the last one they did, will that continue in August, in September meeting here in Nigeria? All this are what also markets expected to also to digest. So yes, crude oil is also set for a weekly gain, even despite I say a monthly loss for everybody. Weekly gain is okay because we're seeing that oil prices have kind of slipped lower at this hour, but set forward a weekly gain, like I said earlier. As traders weigh uncertainties over the Russia supply as well as also was meant to end also this to end the product of US summer driving season. But let's see how it goes at the end of the day where oil price will go. But good news for those that are not oil producing economy, a drop in oil would help them to increase their consumption, buy more. But any increase also, but for those that are producers, they not increase. That is life for you. Yes, let's go back to Africa. Like I said earlier, Africa market is mixed, but I tell you that NGX is showing sign of a rebound after 2 days pullback. Trying to form a double bottom again at this time. But when we come to looking at the market, we also know exactly what the chart is doing. We want to look at market data right now. I tell you that the market, as to speak, we're seeing that the update in the market right now is that market is in green. We're seeing as some even local stocks try to top the gainers chart as right now. But the good news that I said that market is marginally green, up by 0.17 as we speak, marginal. But you can see that we're having a positive breath, even almost closing. We're having a 20 advancers and 18 decliner at this point, and we can see that the local stock like Union.com is one leading with almost 8 point something percent gain right now. You can see Academic Press. You can also see Beja Paint, and also GTCO is rebounding again, almost trading around 95, almost 95 price now, and also see Honeywell also rebounding, trading around 22 naira. On the flip side, you can see that Wando is leading there back to 51 naira 30 kobo. UPDC profit taking is still on that stock. We're seeing that 6 naira 30 kobo. Sterling Bank that was up yesterday is also down, trading at 77 naira 80 kobo. Access Corp is also at 26.75. What is happening? Access at Zenith Bank is also at 65.50 kobo. I think for those that's why you need to know how to trade this type. You need to discuss it, because of this class, how to also position, looking at all this in the market. Good news for that pullback, great opportunity. It's not the time to panic. I tell you that once you have information and trade with knowledge, you don't need to panic in a market correct. Yes, come back to our topic today, which is also very, very important, so that investors will know what they are doing. And in a market like this, instead of game-changing strategies in a correcting NGX ahead of Q4 2025. You know that Q4 around the world, not only Nigeria, is the most active quarter, and because of all eyes will be on what? On third quarter result. That is why in mature market says sell in May and buy in what and come back in October. Why October? As all eyes will be expecting to see the Q3 number, that will give more insight to what the companies that has the calendar year of January to December will be doing at the end of that. That is why people pay more attention on that third quarter result. And already we are entering gradually. Today is 29, the last end of the month of August. Next week we are kicking off to the first day of September. That was also the last month of third quarter, and we expect to see what activities of more bank results. We expect to see now. We didn't see any of the bank results in this month of August. That means mainly we want to see all of them come early to September to late September. For most of the banks, especially two of them, Access and UB have notified that on or before 30th of September. That means all eyes are how this result is going to redefine, or kind of give another direction to the market. Even as market trying to stabilize at a stronger support level of for 140,000 line. If the market going to break it, it depends what happens next week, and also the outcome of all data that we're expecting, especially inflation figure for the month of August, and also potential managers for August come first week of what of September for the policy manager, while the second week around 15 we're expected to see inflation figure for the month of August. All this will shape market activities. But going back to our topic today, what are the strategies that you need to adopt when you see correcting market or a market that is pulling back? You don't need to panic at that time. There are steps to take. And first of all, not the step that it is essential to know that there is difference between the general market index correcting or sectoral index correcting from individual stock correcting. That means you must know which one you are watching. For I believe that when a collective of a market shares or market index is pulling back, if that correction is possible, it can happen. But why it is not necessary that your own stock, individual stock, you have also position has also corrected. All you need to watch where it's going, and that is why you need a strategy to trade it. But you must pay attention that it's not, you don't be panicking because market is correcting. That means your stock fine. It might be like I said that that 50% or 80% of market direction affect individual stock. We agree, but in that see that market will be bearish. While some few stocks are still making money, you must know where you stand, and that's why you must know that the difference between correction, correcting, in the index generally or the market index from individual stock. Once you have that at the back of your mind, to go a long way to help you in taking your investment decision. But the beauty of a correcting market, especially NGX ahead of last quarter of 2020, last quarter of 2025, which is the Q4. What are the things that you'll be looking at so that you'll be able to this strategy that will help you to invest positively and stay ahead of the market? Yes, one thing that people say they don't look at the market always. No, I tell you that where you have investment, keep your eyes in your investment. That's why at the end of the day, you have to look at your chart. I will not encourage that because market is correcting, you should look away from the market. No, some people say it's part of the strategy. Fine, but personally, I don't welcome it. You need to pay attention and see where the market is going. But what we are doing here is that when the market is correcting, anywhere you are in profit, you take your profit and target those stocks and those sector that are entering oversold region. That is where you want to be. And also, if you know that a market has also come to overbought region and about to be correction, both individual stock, you start taking what you start taking profit in them, and that is the only way you can also play safe, also take turn around your position. Don't wait until all the whole market is down. No. And also when market is correcting, you reduce your what exposure to some positions. Why also you are still watching to see where they will reversal in the process. And that is why when there's market correction, strategy to adopt are many to adopt. But we'll mention few here that I know that yes is working, and that is where you should also go in this regard. Like I said earlier, strategy for trading in a correcting market is one that you take profit on what on long-term position that have made money, and even then you reduce your short-term position, scale down your short-term position in the market. Those long-term that you have made money, you know that they have future, you know they are giving profit, you take profit from them. Why? If the market corrects so that you can buy more, that stock because you are in long-term position. When they pull back, if you are going to buy more at a lower price, and that will increase your volume. That's why you must pay attention to that. No, don't panic because market is coming down. It is not your panic, your emotion is a control, not you. That means at that time you are not trading your plan again. With that, you will be shaking and you do take profit. But when you are charged, like I said earlier, you take profit, scale down your short term position. Yes, it's good for you to look at them, but at this time, scale down because already you have seen that there's overbought in most of them. Then you now take your profit in them, scale down, and also focus on what on liquid stocks is very, very important. Those blue chip companies, those liquid large cap companies, you know they are liquid. These are the things you pay attention to see. When they put back, they are really forced to rebound. Pay attention to them and buy into them, especially leaders in that industry that are liquid. You must also then set up your stop loss. It is very, very essential. You stop loss in all your position, and that will help, especially for traders. Even though you are a long-term investor, that's why I say take profit when you see that market. That's why you are taking long position. Also look at more also on your technical tools. Your technical tools will help you to make what informed decision when it comes to what changing your strategy. And that's what you need. Look at to see where is your RSI, where is your MACD at the beginning, or where you are trying to see that the market wants to rebound. That's why attention must be on what looking for what divergence between your RSI and MACD to see where they are turning up or where they are turning down. That will help you to also to pay attention and take what then target on oversold sectors. I mentioned it earlier. Oversold sectors or industry, you need to pay attention on them, and that is where the opportunity will come. But they will be the one that will rebound, especially if those companies have the good fundamental. You must look at them; they are very, very key. And I said at the beginning that guide your mindset. That is where emotion should be out of your trading plan. Right, trade your plan. Don't put emotion there at all. Follow your plan and make sure that you execute it as and when you. And also don't forget to take away from your eyes forward from focusing on management of risk. Risk management is very important. I tell you, most times risk management is even more important than your profit. Know how to look at maintain little exposure in a corrective market or on a bearish market so that you can see opportunity to enter when there's a reversal sign. Because I tell you, after correction of reversal, that is the nature of the market. And when you are looking at it, some technical tools you can pay attention to, apart from telling you that yes, we are seeing a double bottom style here. There's also, let me call something that's very, very important here. I think, our indicators is key. Let's go. Our indicator is key here. Our indicator is very, very important here. We need to call all we need to call them all of this hour. They are very, very important to us. We don't joke to them. Even now, time is fast spent. Let me quickly see what we can achieve with the little time left here. If you look at the market now, if you look at our T line here, I see that it was that. I tell you, all this one is a positive one. When you see this one there above the T line, good one strong market, but once it's above below the T line, that's a sign of weakness. That's the market pull back here after correcting. You can see that it was adjusting here because it started to consolidate before pulling back. It break that T line, sign of weakness. It tried to rebound before this moment now. But that's like it's still trading below the T line until market breakout will now confirm what a strong market again. Even though that is saying about a strong market for the crossing this, and that's what we call a bullish continuation when it crossover. But right now, the market is still looking down as to speak. And now there that looking at the money flow there that market is already heading towards overbought, oversold situation. Sorry, they can see where the money flow is, and also that MACD is also looking. Or after look at this histogram down here, it's looking up. That means gradually there will also be an uptrend. if you can see that once the market cross this signal, what we call a mark, this signal here, and contains also a bullish mark when it cross. But you can see that this was descending here, now it's ascending, was able to cross here, and this was on a day chart. You can see that for me, the market is relatively weak at this point, but with a strong support level of 140,000 directional line as we speak, was able to break that. Even on a 1 hour chart, you can see that the market is still very, very weak. Also, it's just below the T line here. Pay attention. Even when it starts trading here, try to consolidate here at from up. Can see that this is like a double top bottom here too. But still going now on the 1 hour chart, you can see where it is going. While MACD is also I would say that MACD is also bearish marginal, but any reversal here also the good thing is that you must pay attention to what to your moving average whenever you are trading. That is like this one was using here the 8 days moving average exponential, and this is for me because we are traders. We look at short, even though we are long term investor, we must still want to gauge the market to know. And that's why I said it acts as support and also resistance for me. When you see that the market is trading above the T line, that is a strong support. When it's trading above it, that is a strong resistance. We need to cross it out, that gives you a good example. You must pay attention to your moving average, especially 50 moving average and 20 to simple moving average to also see a key support level or a resistance line. This to also look attention to volume. Spark and volume is very, very important. Even when no market is breaking down on extra volume, we also look at where is the volume stemming out. Is it the plan to turn up? Pay attention to it. While your sentiment report also is good, look at all sentiment report to see where is the momentum flowing, where is the fund entering. Pay attention to all this. I tell you that overbought will help you to know what to do, oversold will help you to know what to do. Look at all this when you are trading, and fundamental news also are very, very key. Monitor economic report, watch the earnings of this company to understand undervalued position of the company. It's very, very important when all this happens. Also, we follow the direction of what of rate by paying attention to what is the CBN will be doing their next MPC meeting. Also, what our position manager for the month of August will be reading, and also inflation will be reading at the end of the day, because all eyes are in the month of September to see. That is the month also we expect to see the bank result that into 3 dividend. Let's keep our finger crossed. See you on Monday. I will talk here for because of our time. They will give me a sign that I've overstayed. Thank you, and see you on Monday. Hopefully, for those that will be meeting tomorrow, we're talking more on how to take advantage of what all these potentials and turnaround companies in Nigeria or on NGX that the advantage they are presenting. How can you and I take advantage of those potentials akin to those turnaround companies we are seeing on the exchange? Thank you and bye. Yeah, see, sorry for starting late today because of all this internet thing. I believe that you understand us and that you know that when we are out to service, we don't go back. Like we have to make sure that we come on board even when there was little delay. Thank you and have a great day.